office, my workshop actually, and starting to work on this project again for my daughter. So, kind of to show you some of the stuff on there, I've got some butterflies, some flowers, on all the sides there. The back, it has nothing. But I need to take all this this leather off. I done all the insides. I lined all the outside of the box, and now I got to go in and line all these dividers on the inside. So that's kind of my plan today, is to get that done, so then we can start on getting the lid finished, and after that it'll be done. So I gotta start cutting this stuff off here. Make sure that we get it as straight as possible. Use a razor blade, but it'd probably cut into my wood. I don't want that. Go along here and trim it up. Get it at a 45-degree angle so you get most of it off there. I don't want any overhang showing. Now I'll have to go back and we'll have to put some other super glue down on here so this leather stays down and doesn't come up again. That's about it on that side. These are going to be a little harder to do because I got this part here. If you can see it, it kind of sticks out. So I got to cut around that circle there. Now this side will show because when the box lifts up, this is going to be the front, this is going to be back, so this side's not going to show very much. Of course, I have not figured out how I'm going to hinge the box. So I thought, well, I'll get this done first, and then I'll go back and I'll see what kind of hinge I want to put on here. There's one thing about doing some of these projects is sometimes you think you screwed up, you get all worried about it, and then at the end you actually figure out, oh, I can just hide it this way. That's no big deal. And sometimes you really screw up and there's nothing you can do to hide it. And you never know, by the end of this project, I might change my mind on some stuff and this top part might look different. See, one thing about me, I am like a perfectionist. I like to have everything just right. So sometimes I kind of beat myself up for not getting something right. Funny thing is, you kind of see some of these other woodworkers around and you see some of their stuff and you're thinking the whole time, wow, that guy is so good. But no matter how much experience you have, there's always going to be little screw-ups you're going to make that sometimes you won't see, or sometimes you will and you tend to ignore. But we all kind of make mistakes. No one is perfect. That was the hardest thing I had to learn when I started doing this stuff for a business. Because as I was drawing, there'd be a lot of times that I would sit and draw, and I'd make the tiniest, minute mistake. No one would have never even knew, but I knew, so I threw it away. And there's a lot of things that I've done that I just thrown away because there was a mistake on it. So there we go. Kind of trimmed all that leather up. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way. I might consider taking this top layer off, cutting it right here, and just leaving the top still wood, restain the top to make it brown to match this. I don't know yet. But for now, I wanted to get those sides off so it's not hanging over. So now I gotta sit and I gotta measure out the fabric here. To get the insides of these done. And I think what I'm going to do is put one piece around here, flip it over, cut these notches out here, and then do one pieces on this side. Because I got to do it so it doesn't show none of the wood. I don't want none of the wood to show. I wanted it all leather. Now, if you can see, I put foam in the bottom here. So this is all foam covered in leather. So in this side here, you've got where you can tuck in your leather. So no cracks show on this side. So I gotta measure the height from here to here, do 1/4 of an inch to tuck in there, so I can tuck in the leather, and then it won't show so much. So this is 1 inch. So 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on that side, that's 2 inches, plus 2/4 is 1/2. So 2.5, and then plus I'll throw in 1/8. Now the length of it is going to be 6 inches. We'll say 6.5 inches wide. There. So now we have our little square. Now we have a little square. Now, come in here, we're going to have to mark the inside. See if I can prop this up so I can show you. But we'll take this piece of leather and we'll mark where this side, where these are, so we can cut up on both sides so it'll fit around. You might want to mark it smaller than the width of this board here, so that when you cut it, if you get it too wide, then when you put it on, it'll show the wood. You don't want that. Like I said, we got 1 1/4 we're doing on each side. So now you don't want to make, when you cut this top part out, it's going to go over this. And you don't want to get that. Now this part you don't want to get too short, because then this will show what if it's too short. Need that extra. So now put this inside the box. So now, as you can see, when I cut it, this is the piece you have to leave on top, because when this gets all glued down, you're going to have to wrap this piece around here, and there's no way to cover that unless you leave it on this piece going crossways. So we only got one more piece to do. Thank goodness. I really don't enjoy doing this leather part, but so now what I do is I take this and we do a dry run. We'll put it down and we'll make everything fit, make sure that it's pretty well close to what we want or what we need. That looks pretty good. We don't have any large open spaces. It's a pretty good tight fit. Not perfect, but doesn't matter right now. So then what I do is I'll put this piece of leather upside down over here, so that when I take my tweezers here, I'll find another set of tweezers. And we lost our tweezers. I use these. I got tons of them around there, I just gotta find them. So then when I go to glue, I'll have my tweezers here. This one holds the clamp down. And then I'll take this, glue the wood, and then just flip it over. Just like that. So we'll put that back. Leave that there. This one, we'll put this one ready to go. So now we take this and we just flip the leather over. So now the reason I do that, so none of the glue gets on top of the leather. Now I reposition everything so that I got equal amounts on each side. Looks about right. That looks about right. Okay, so now I got it stuck down there. Now I have another razor blade that's flat, so that I can take the leather inside here I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I take, let me get a little closer with this. I'll take this and get on the very edge of the leather, and then while holding the razor blade down, I scoot it towards the crevice, and then I stick it in. So that way it goes in nice and easy. So like that. Hope you guys got to see that. So now I got to do that to the rest of them. Alright. So now I stuck all the leather inside the cracks there, so now basically you don't see any of the wood. Here's what I do is I'll turn on this light. So I stuck it in the crevice there. Right here. Stuffed it inside there on both sides. See how I left the top in here? We'll go back and cut the extra off on that. Now you want to smooth everything out. Make sure you have no wrinkles. Both sides. And that's why I don't get the glue. You didn't have to get the glue so good, because you'll sit and spread it out when you do this. Okay, so now I got to go and do the other side. Measure everything out. Get that done. We'll have these pieces, and then all we got to do is these 6. We'll be done. Now, if you have spaces in here, what I'm thinking about doing is there's piping that you can put, and I'll put them on the corners and stuff, and that'll give it a contrast. But I'll do that after I'm all done. So anyway, let me do a second piece. Alright, now I go on to do this set, do these sides here, get those all covered. measure this 1 and I'll say 1 3/8 by so 1 3/8 by 2 and 5/8. So we'll square out our piece again. So now we're going to measure these pieces. These are 1, I'll say 1 5/16 wide. Okay, we got those 2 pieces out. So now that fits pretty good. That fits pretty good. Lay these over here for now. Put on our glue. Okay, so got that done. Kind of see, wrap that around here like these sides. Just don't have to cut out so much. And we'll go on to the next row. So, checking over my work. Looks okay. So basically now you can see this, the inside's covered. So all the wood, everything's covered completely in leather. But we're kind of basically done with this for now. Got a little piece of glue on my leather I'm trying to scrape off. And if you have a little bit of glue that gets on the leather, I just lightly scrape it off. And usually it kind of comes off. Of course, so does some of the leather, but that's okay. You ain't gonna see it. I'll have to brush this out later. It's got a bunch of lint and junk in it. That's okay. It'll get more in there later. So now, basically that's it. So now I'm gonna have to go. The next part is actually going and making the lid for this. Once I make the lid, get the design done, painted, and then we'll put the lid on. So that's going to be for next time. This is all I'm going to do today. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.